Today we are talking about the second of all the elements on the periodic table, the 118 elements. Practically, it's not up to 100. See what I'm saying? But there are other things adding up. That is why we have up to 118. Yeah. Now, we are talking about the most, all of them are very, very important, but we are talking about the most important of all of the elements. Now, the main is me breaking it down to the understanding of some students Ghana. There be a school no, we a student be say what are all the elements bit me are reciting because they already chew and pour. The chew and pour part, that is what is not helping us. Anything that we are talking about in school, do we see them? Do we feel them? Do we know where to find them? It's like telling me that you know how to do the job, but you just talk about it. You don't even know how to find the related or the necessary materials or the necessary information to do the job. Now, the helium is the second element on the periodic table, and as you can see, helium is the symbol for the helium. The name itself talking about, for the most of the elements are gases. That is one thing that everybody should know. We have nitrogen gas, oxygen, hydrogen, CO2. You see, all the how do you call it? Nature is full of gases. That is what I'm trying to say. Nature is full of gases because it is easy to transfer in the form of gas or in the form of fluid or something. Nature is, you see, you have your matter, or you're talking about your material things, matter. Now, your matter is in three states: solid, liquid, and gas. But for easy transferability, gases transfer more easier and quicker than all the other two, states. Solid is sometimes you have to use force. You see, your table is very solid. You have to move. You have to apply force. That is when your physics comes in. Now, the fluid, that is water, for instance. There are other fluids that are very heavy or very light. You see what I'm saying? The heavy that's having a high level of viscosity, means that it's very thick and it is resisting motion because of the thickness. Now, nature is full of gases. Get that concept. Nature is full of gases. Everything we are into now, even our cars, we are switching to gases. We are switching from using liquid fuel, which of course burns out to be gases. Whenever you light up your firewood, it's the gases going up. Gases everywhere. Gases survive us. Nature is full of gases for sustainability. Now, the helium, the name itself is talking about something that is spiral shape. Now, this is the root word for hell. This is the root word for hell. Now, the helium is moving like that, or it is like this, spiral. Are you BBC? Yeah, we've been talking about heliocentrism and all of that, but let us focus on helium. Your helium is, let us focus on your second element on the periodic table, and this is what helium is. Sometimes people say helium is not renewable. We have renewable and non-renewable resources, but all resources, that is why we have the name of resources. Anything having the name re means they never get out of the system. That is why so many countries go into Africa to get resources, but the resources are always coming back in abundance because it's resources. You know, the sea carries the resources to wherever they're supposed to go. So most resources are found along the ocean. We discovered oil in the sea in Ghana. The sea carries all resources. If you put resources back from Africa back to China, all the resources will travel back to Africa through the sea. Some of them will travel back to Africa through rainwater because of the favorable conditions like the atmosphere and whatever. No? The resources will always be deposited wherever they are supposed to be deposited. You know, as we were doing more about regional geography of Ghana, and we were worried about how some parts of the country has a lot of resources as compared to the others. We came to realize, you know, temperature is a factor. That is your weather. That is the amount of sun you are able to receive is a factor in the determinants of resources. That is why we have a lot of resources in Africa. You see what I'm saying? We will talk about that. But now let us focus on the helium. This is helium now. Your helium is a gas. Helium is a gas. Let me go straight to all the points before I will explain. You know, so we are talking about characteristics now. There are gases. Most of the gases, you don't see them, so they are colorless. Most of the gases, they don't have a specific smell. Helium is one of them. And then it changes your voice, and it is not toxic. It is one of the gases that is not toxic, and it changes your voice. It makes your voice very high. Immediately you are full or you are filled with the helium gas, your voice will change automatically. But that's going to be for some few moments. Now, there are times when your body is out of oxygen. You feel like you don't have enough. You see, people who are gasping for air, there are some patients in the hospital who cannot breathe very well. They cannot breathe very well. And they don't lack oxygen. The oxygen is there, but they cannot breathe very well. It means that they have a lot of helium around that time. So such people, you see that their voice come down, but it's high pitch, low voice. It's any pebi or motor no. It do time be a person or man a voice no. Any no a beat be kwa na so person or changing the voice some level be a or be like oxygen e be replace it sa at that point no ubenya more helium around that time no. Nti bonse ebu ho awaye oba na ne voice ni mo ase ne voice ni mo ye do na ye long bi sa mo motonum neta practice that type of concept no, because all the gases are filled in the system and they are all part of us, but at some point because of our activities one of them is taking charge. Is what I'm saying. Because of our activities no, I own what you will see more carbon monoxide. You see what I'm saying? So you see more oxygen in your house. You see what I'm saying? And to be dependent on our activities, no, or the state of our actions, no. This our state be a woman at some point in time, no. Some of the elements has more influence than the others, depending on our activities. Now, into this is more like a spiral type of gas, and a typical example is whenever you see a multi-am flama. I will talk about that specifically. I will scientifically explain multi-am flama. Now you see multi-am flama. And so you can be called in the Toyota Hilux. Unya sa car no ya car ni din Toyota Hilux. Yeah. Now multi-am flama eyam flama bia ebobo a na ekosro. Ebobo free asase no so na ebe peke ne nyina na ede kosro. So with the helium go balloon mu na uja balloon no so ekosro sa. But at this time we confine helium no in a container a balloon. Nti enam se empese betna hana epese move high in intino. It will balloon will continue to go up. It's what I'm saying. Now, where do you get your helium? Source of helium, no. First of all, no, all the elements and minerals are found in water. You get, yesterday as we were talking about the hydrogen and oxygen, you realize they are the core of water. That is why I decided to do those two elements first. Now you have your source, your first source of helium is water. Now you get your sea water, no. You put it in a bottle. Na close bottle no. Close no mpanyimfo water aka say me say ensuo che woto ma ehihwa. Onhyada nte what they say onhyada nte smell biasa, but you feel something. You feel something is odinsuo no go bottle no mu kata asofo bi a 1 month ana 1 year no. You feel something has changed in the bottle. That is your helium right there. What you say? To be able to separate different type of elements from the sea water, no, contains everything. Now you put sea water in the bottle, no, you say the heavy particles no be deposited was here, and then a be stratified. You get your helium from the sea water. You put it in a bottle and you close it. Now, easy way to also get access to helium is or more asthma, no? Because of the helium no it treat asthma. Omo inhalers na omo asthma no ewisu no is full of helium gas. Omo asthma no inhaler omo heli di treat asthma no is full of helium gas. Inti wo pese you're a science student. Now pese wo hunu helium gas ya. Ko pesa inhaler ne bi. Now you see what it is. You see what I'm talking about. So everything, all the elements that you are talking about in school now previously, no could di babegu trimuna unhu bi crowd that win their tier. What the answer oh yes, I'm their pay marks. Today I'm gonna make sure I break it down, me breaking it down to the understanding of ubia sebe untimi kura nkambro fo betiase. Oka uko mamu kumas no uko so amazing anaso uko fitema. Ka ewusu ade bia ye frɛ no airbag no se car no inya accident ya ebe explode po na ababe board driver ni no iti atena steer no said atena ni seat him said ebe ya wumpra no ehye steer no medal ho ye we prefill your airbag with helium gas. Inti ope helium gas nso a another source nso eyo airbag ewo no is pre-filled with helium gas. Now what are the properties of helium gas? It has a low boiling point, so it is able to contain temperature. Because of that fact in internet, it has a thermal conductivity. We will talk about this thermal conductivity here. That is when I will differentiate between the metals and non-metals on the periodic table, and the conductors and non-conductors and the semiconductors, somewhere in the middle of the conductors and the non-conductors. And helium gas is non-flammable. So most of the the fire service personnel, some of them also employs this idea of the helium because it is non-corrosive and it is non-flammable. So it is one of the sources for fire extinguishing. It's one of the direct gases. What you feel? And because it is not soluble in water, it is the moment you put the sea water in the bottle and you close it up, the first gas to be on top is the helium. Because it is not soluble in water, it is a good idea. It is ideal for, or to say, fire extinguishing and stuff. And it is not corrosive because it is not, the properties directly tells you how they are being used. Because they are non-corrosive, they are used as cleaning and protective agents. O pesa o cleaning o niema hu fi any idea. And all your cleaning agents at some point have some elements of helium in it to prevent corrosion and stuff. It is non-corrosive, and now you use it in welding. You use helium gas in welding as well. We the bomb, but you use it in welding. It steady. A position ijano steady, because this is a stable gas on its own. Is stable, but naturally when you see it in the atmosphere, it will feel like it is not stable, but it's stable. At some point, when it be change your voice, like it the moment it becomes saturated in one area, now a person pick it up real quick. That is how you see motium. Immediately you put the helium gas in a balloon, a balloon best start fracoslo. Immediately it be concentrated in one area, and a best start a spiral, a spiral and a cosrontem. That is helix or heliocentrism, or your helium right here. And you who be a free it be motium from. Now, a mobile phone chip we use is full of helium. If you want to extract helium from your SIM card, if you want to know how to extract helium from your SIM card, we will talk about the extraction of the elements separately. What you say? Now, so that is it. And your parachutes, use parachutes no. And America for now, I mean, who Africans or more tires are your pilots be or fly airplane, or fly balloon. We have balloon pilots. Balloon is pre-filled with you have the inner coat pre-filled with the helium gas, because it's non-corrosive and it's stable, but it just want to go up. Is what I'm saying. Yeah, so that is it for the second element on the periodic table. Inti sources no benya bi epo insuo ukobuma amwakra no ukobugu bottle man wakata so. We man some few days ubie so abonsa de bi abafa so. Uncheda ntese eye bi empanyimfo ye nananom empanyimfo no e kan sembi sase udi nsuo gotu omo yihwa no. It's full of gases, because all the gases makes up water. Gases, no, and water is. Don't say every time we are talking about navigation, you navigate with your GPS, with your car, you navigate in your airplane, you navigate everywhere. Navigation, the sea is the root word for navigate. Navy, they work on the sea. You navigate. The water transfers everything. What the resources will be free Ghana, Ebra, America. Resources no pese betra ha ne time so a when they are returning back to their natural state, epo no ebesan carry them back to Africa. That is why Africa will always be rich. Nobody can do anything against Africa. If you go deep into science here, you don't even have to worry about China for no more Africa, and that's what best Africa. They cannot do. Nobody fights nature. Because our resources are ideal weather condition and the land for the resources. The resources will always go back to where they were. They will always find their way back to where they were. What you say? I love you all. That's the helium gas. We will do all of them separately, and then the experiments will follow, because some of them work hand in hand. We can do 2 experiments in a day when I get time. At some point, many more time. We will do, but I prefer to more experiment in the explosion. And experiment, because me experiment, I most students don't like going to the science lab, because science lab go on share them who share on away. But my experiment be a me who say be a explode. And I said, me electrical shock, who say Jebia Tija or and who say, yeah, I'll be. You was able to be busy.